Today's Top 5 Wednesday prompt officially confirmed to me that I am very much a binge reader and not a read as they release kind of reader. Hello friends, happy Wednesday. It is the first Top 5 Wednesday video of this month and I'm very excited, but in case if you're not familiar with Top 5 Wednesday, in a nutshell, basically each Wednesday I answer a prompt using 5 books, but in this case I do manga, to reflect the said prompt. And if you're curious about what the prompts are for the rest of this month or like to join the fun, definitely check the link out down below. Today's prompt is ongoing series that you are still loving. Often we'll start new series at the beginning of the year and maybe it takes a few volumes and we're starting to read, like, I said, just a few volumes, and we're like, this is not necessarily for me, and we decide to put it down or we decide to drop it. But then there's other series we pick up, we read a few volumes and we're like, we love this. So as there's more releases, just the more we start to love this series, or maybe we just continue to love this series. So today we are spotlighting those ongoing series that we are reading and that we still absolutely love. This prompt was so hard. When I was looking at my shelf, I was like, I have a lot of series that have more than 1 volume because I told myself I could only feature a manga that has more than 2 volumes that I have personally read. Like, even if I have this series, I can't feature it if I haven't read at least volume 2, so I could say that I'm still loving it. And I was like, okay, there's not actually many series that I have technically done that way. I was like, oh, so I tried this weekend to actually try and binge read a few different series, and I did. I read The Dragon Knight's Beloved, but I realized that I featured that last week for Top 5 Wednesday, and I was like, well, I don't want this to sound repetitive. It just featured the same titles, but I was actually glad that I caught up with that series. But I was like, well, since I featured that last week, I was like, let's feature something else, because with that, I realized when I did my top 10 shoujo and josei digital manga titles I want to be printed, I was like, I only have like maybe 2 fantasy that are on that list, and probably one of them's the only one that's technically a fantasy. So I was trying to be different, but I'm sorry friends, it's not that different. I was like, I don't think, no, I have one fantasy manga that I can do, but it's also an isekai. I was gonna feature Yona of the Dawn, but I know I've been talking a lot about of the Dawn. I'm like, so I tried to pick some titles that I haven't talked about too much. So let's go ahead, start us off with number 1. I actually have not read this yet, and I'm sort of disappointed in myself because, anyway, let me feature what it is. So for number 1, I am saying Play It Cool, guys. I love this series so very much. I have reread volumes 1 through 3 at least twice, at least 3 times. Volumes 1 and volume 2 I've read 4 or 5 times. Like, I really love this series. They are so precious. I love the anime so much. It has been perfection. Look how cute this page is. They're so precious. I love these guys so much. Look at them. Oh, they're so cute. They're so cute. This is like my happy manga. Oh my goodness. I don't even know what I could say about this series. I really love these guys. I love their goofs. They're very relatable, but they're also just very fun to follow. Their story's so relaxing and so entertaining, and I'm just like, I need all of the volumes. Like, I hope this is a long series because I'm here for it. I'm just like, I'm here to follow these guys, see what they do. Hayate, he's not on the cover, but Hayate is my all-time favorite of them. Here he is, right here. He's so precious. Oh my goodness, he's a precious little bean. They're all precious little beans, but I love them. I love them so much. So this is definitely an ongoing series I love so incredibly much. It's funny, when I pulled this off my shelf, I was like, Laura, you know what you're reading next. You were reading this because I need to know what happens. I was so desperate and so eager for my pre-order to come, and I'm like, it's here. And I'm like, what are you doing, Laura? You haven't actually read it yet. So we are going to fix that. We are going to fix that. But oh, yes, I highly recommend Play It Cool, guys. You can go watch the anime. They're only 10-minute long episodes, and it follows so faithfully to the manga. It's so great. And the voice actors are perfection. I'm just like, I love them. It's so good. I actually need to get caught up on the anime because I'm sort of behind because I love binge watching them because it's just like happy time. It's just happy time reading or watching, and I just cannot recommend this series enough. It is so very good. And I forgot to mention that following the 25 days of manga, which I have an intro video for this month talking about that all of my picks are either shoujo or josei. This is a josei, and just I'm so happy. I'm so happy to feature them. They're so fantastic. For number 2, this one also has to be on this list, and that is A Sign of Affection. This series is just as good. I love this series so much. I'm low-key hoping that I can convince my husband to read this because he actually read The Girl with the Sanpaku Eyes this weekend. He read volume 1. I was planning to read volume 1 and 2 so I could feature it for this video, but things came up and there's been some stuff in the news and I just could not focus. So I unfortunately didn't get it read, but Sign of Affection, yes. I literally, every time I get a new volume, I read it twice. I read it super fast the first time, just binge read it, boom. Then I go back, reread it at a much slower pace and just appreciate the art, appreciate the story. I love Yuki. I love just the story, just Itsumi. Everything about this series is just perfection to me. I really, really love it. I've actually had to be really mindful on Twitter because I know Azuki Cafe is doing where they get like chapters. I don't know if it's new chapters weekly or monthly, but the shoujo community gets so excited and I've seen spoilers and I'm like, please, no. Like this is one series that I'm like, I don't want spoilers. Even though the spoilers have been fantastic. Very, very excited for, volume 6 to eventually release. I need it in my hands. I love this couple. I highly, highly recommend this series. It is just, it's so wonderful, friends. It is so wonderful. The art is good. The story, it's all the sweet, fluffy romance, and it's so good. It's so good. I feel like that doesn't really capture the beauty of this series. But just know it is a must read. It is a favorite for a reason. And just, I'm so glad that so many people love it because it is definitely in my all-time favorites. I adore this series. It's so good. It is definitely one of those titles that where when I get a new volume, I'm reading it ASAP. Like as soon as I've opened the package, we're already starting to read. So that's very rare for me. I don't do that often. I do that with this one and usually Play It Cool Guys, but I was slacking on volume 4. But volumes 1 through 3, that's exactly what I did. But this is one of those series that I'm like, as soon as it's in my hands, we're reading ASAP. It is, again, an ongoing series I love so very, very much. For number 3, I'm so excited for this one. I read this yesterday. I have waited a whole year before I picked up this second volume, and that is I Swear I Won't Bother You Again, and the wait was worth it. This sequel was perfection. I am so excited that volume 3, I think, if it hasn't changed, is supposed to release next month. Volume 4 is up for pre-order on Amazon, and I'm like, yes, it's so good. I love this series. This sequel just blew me away. It blew me out of the water, and I'm like, I'm so glad because I loved Volume 1. I believe I have a video review on this channel because I read it last year for the 25 days of manga, and just the sequel. It has Yulan, Prince Claudia, whatever. Sorry, guys. If you are a Prince Claudia fan, that's totally fine, but I don't like him. I mean, I like him, but I don't like him. Like, I don't want that ship to sail. No, it just needs to get out. And I swear, if he does anything to upset the Yulan and Violetta ship, I'm gonna be so upset. I'm gonna be so upset because things happen. I was just like, oh man, it's like, you need to back up. You need to back up. And the other guy, he needs to back up as well, even though he's a great character. I actually do like his character. But you get plenty of backstories in this volume, and just everything about it was so good. It just went well above my high expectations that I had. It continues definitely to be a favorite for me. Cannot wait for volume 3. Like, please, Seven Seas, do not let this get pushed back again, because it got pushed back by almost a year before it was going to release. And so I already have mine on pre-order on Right Stuff, and I'm here for it. I cannot wait to read the next one. This series is so very wonderful. Violetta, she is an interesting character. It's one of those isekai where they go back in time. They go back in time. She goes back in time by a year, and she's able to have a second chance because originally she died because she was jealous of her stepsister, half-sister, Mary June. She was going to kill her. And Prince Claudia, though, he falls in love with Mary June, and that's why Violetta was going to kill Mary June, because she was very jealous. So this time, she's like, I'm not going to bother you. I swear not to bother you again. I'm going to go become a nun. And because things are changing, it's not the same as it was in the past because she's made different decisions. Things are different. And she's like, this isn't going as I planned it was. It's very, very good. I highly recommend it. Definitely one of my favorite isekai that I have read. It's just, it's so good. For number 4, oh my goodness. So I'm doing Cheeky Brat. I feel like I have not talked about this series, and I feel like some days I have a love or hate relationship with this series. I really enjoyed this series. In fact, I originally buddy read this with Mark when Volume 1 first released. I liked Volume 1, but Naruse, I think is how you say his name. Oh, I can't stand him at times. I just can't stand him. He really is a cheeky brat. Like, honestly, the title fulfills everything about this series. Like, he irks me so often, but I love how this is a sports romance, and I really love our main girl. What is her name? I can't remember her name right now. Her name's on the back cover. I feel so bad I can't remember her name right now, but I really like her as a main character. And so anyway, thanks to Carrie and Mark, I gave this series a second chance, and I was totally hooked on it despite Lysa Naruse really upsetting me and not respecting her boundaries and just pushing them anyway. I was like, oh, but I really, really enjoy these characters quite a bit. I really love actually the love. I think he's like the love rival. If he's not actually a love rival, he is a rival to Naruse, and I really, really enjoy his character. I've read volumes 1 and 2 for certain, and I've like skim read volumes 3 and 4 because me and Carrie were gonna buddy read this, and then I was like, oh, I'm just gonna sort of randomly flip through to see what happens next. Ended up reading almost the entire volume, and so I have very much been enjoying this series. I have up to volume 6 on pre-order. I know I have up to volume 5. I think I have volume 6 in my cart to pre-order because it doesn't come out until April, I believe, of next year. So I do recommend this series. I know that maybe it didn't sound like I love this series, but I really do. It's very addictive. I love the sport aspect so very much. It's very fun. The characters are great. There's a lot of humor that goes on. I always have a good time reading. I'm just like, you know, and it's like, oh my goodness, this is so cute. So I'm really, really excited to see where this series goes. On the cover of volume 6, there we go, I'm saying it weird, they're holding hands. And I'm like, does that mean they might be a thing? Like, I really do much want to see them actually be a couple. It has been a very fun series, and I definitely recommend it if you're into sports romance and like a lot of humor. Some people have compared this to Maid Sama, which I haven't read, but I do have on back order. So if you like Maid Sama, chances are that you will really enjoy this series. I'm very excited for Maid Sama as well. For number 5, this one has to be on here, and that is Imakoi. I finally read volume 4. I just got my copy on Saturday, and that same night I read it. It was so cute. I love this couple. I love Yagyu and Sadomi. Yagyu is the perfect gentleman. This has definitely some things in it, nothing bad or anything, but I'm just like, oh, they're so precious. I really, really enjoyed it. I love how spunky Sadomi is and how she's so brave and so daring. And even Yagyu in this volume when he is telling her things, and I'm just like, this is so romantic. This is so romantic. This is like my fluffy romantic shoujo series I very much have been enjoying. It's definitely in my favorite series of this year. I absolutely love it. This, I guess, is another series that is when I get volumes, I go ahead and read it because I always enjoy it. And look how cute they are. They're so cute. I cannot wait to see where this series goes. This was another great volume. I love that the Christmas Day was everything, and a guy popped up in the 3rd volume, and I was like, oh, it's like, no potential love triangle, but I was like, that's all right. I was like, I am confident in Yagyu and Sadomi's love. Boom, I was correct. No worries there. That dude didn't stand a chance. I was like, you tell him, Yagyu. I was very, very excited. So cannot wait for the next volume. This is another one. As soon as I see the volumes are up for pre-order, bam, I am pre-ordering them. And for my honorable mention, I know I did talk about this in my November reading wrap up, and I was like, it has to be mentioned because this series has definitely well exceeded my expectations, and that is why Raelian ended up at the Duke's Mansion. Volume 2 was so good. It was so, so good. I have actually thought about going online, and I think it's on Tapas or Tappy Tunes, and seeing what happens next because I need answers. I love these two. Noah has come such a far, like a long way from the beginning. I like Noah in the beginning, but just we're getting some romantic crumbs, and I was 100% here for it. And I'm just like, this series is so, so good. I think I was talking to my friend Jessica, and we were saying how she mentioned how it really does have a very great blend of like drama with just romance and everything. Like it's not overwhelming. And it's so true. It's so true. Like you get that drama, especially that political drama. But man, Raelian, she be doing those mic drops. Like she just, like, these people have no chance. They have no chance. Like, if you've read it, you know that one girl. Just that one girl and her minions, like they trying to up her. They trying to up her. And I'm like, you're just failing, girl. Raelian knows what she's doing. Don't even try. Anyway, that's sort of a little bit of a side ramble right there. It is a fantastic series. It is fully colored, and I love the direction. I love how we're getting more fantasy. And I feel like just every volume, I know there's only 2 volumes, but both volume 1 and volume 2 have really surprised me, and just they have things that I didn't expect. With volume 1, I was so shocked how much humor that this had. sad. With volume 2, I was shocked how we're getting more fantasy elements. So I feel like volume 3 is gonna surprise me in some way. I don't know what, but even if I come in with high expectations, I'm not worried because I came in with high expectations for this volume. So I'm looking forward to just this series surprising me with every volume. I'm really sad that I think it's only like 5 volumes, at least on Goodreads. That's all that's on there. And I'm like, please tell me this series is much longer because it's definitely a favorite, one I really, really enjoy, and one I would definitely recommend. And that, my friends, wraps up all of my picks for ongoing series that I'm absolutely loving. I know I totally gushed this series, and I'm a little bit sorry that I got a little bit like overly excited, but hopefully that conveys just how much I really, really enjoy these series and how I'm always looking forward to new releases and even actually reading these so as they release, which is a pretty big thing for me because, as I said, my shelf usually just has, I just binge read them. I wait for them to complete and then binge read them. Anyway, friends, I would love to hear from you. What are some ongoing series that you are absolutely loving? I would love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!